Okay, let's continue the Prograds tour. Let's look at the faculty members dashboard. It's really simple. It's just a listing of the students that the faculty member is supervising and is a committee member of, and graduated students down at the bottom. And on the right-hand side are feeds of events and updates and completed milestones for each of those students that the faculty member is working with. From there, the faculty member can go to any of their students or click into one just to go to that student. But let's go back to the administrative view and now look at it from the perspective of the department, its staff members, the Director of Graduate Studies. So the admin view day to day is to look at the listing of students and faculty in the department. But if we go up a step, essentially, the first thing to point out are the department and program settings. And so the account owner and the Director of Graduate Studies and others at that level of administrative privileges will be able to change the basic information of the department, who the other administrators are, programs, funding sources, courses, and labs. Let me just drill down into programs. We see this demonstration one has an MA and a PhD. And if I edit the PhD program details, I will be able to set administrators for the program, but the core information are the stages of the program, the milestones within stages. There we go. They could be specified and put within stages and moved around, and then requirements. So those are the things that flow down to every student in the program. Let's go back to the operational view for the administrator, who gets to see this big faculty and student listing, and they're separate tabs here. This is the student listing. And we can filter and sort by various criteria, including the entry date and the major field, the supervisor. So if I just look for the supervisor we just had, it'll just show me those two supervised students. Let's look at the faculty listing. It shows how many supervisions and committees and what the current year funding supervised is. And we can go on to the profile of a student or a faculty member. The profiles are not the same as the student page. They contain more information. So let's look at the profile of the student we looked at earlier in the previous video. And we'll get more detailed and other information that the department needs to have, but the faculty members don't need to see. The student can see this, but edit very little of it. And there's a separate area here for the department staff or Director of Graduate Studies to both message the student and to keep private administrative notes that the student won't see. So we have things here like leave dates, graduated, international student, where the student is now, and this page is where we can add and subtract supervisory roles and committee roles. And the student can also be given major fields, minor fields, labs, and courses can be provisioned here as well. Students will always have a file list, so any files that are uploaded through any of the dialogues that come up for the various items will show up here, and we can add files. And finally, let's look at the administrative funding roll-up report. And it's a work in progress, but the idea is to allow to replace the spreadsheets really that the department graduate administrators are sharing, and provide a way to easily see funding for all students or a subset of students or one student, and check that they've been received, and etc. So that's it. You've had a look at version 1.0 of Prograds, and some of the things we're building are stages and milestones having a time expectation from the date of program entry, with email notifications going out in advance, some period in advance. We're going to expand this funding and the TA functionality to give administrators a really easy way to see who has TA assignments and look at those sort of going forward in a planning sense. We're going to implement a calendar view for students and faculty so they can see things that are upcoming. And administrators will have a big activity feed if they really need to search and see whether a certain thing has been approved or done. It'll be easy to find from a department-wide or program-wide activity feed. Thanks. I hope you'll join us and try Prograds, and we really think that it's the next step in graduate student progress tracking, a cloud application just like all those other ones we use for all kinds of things that are now a lot more efficient than they used to be. Thanks.